Hi, I'm Abad. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to my basement and my video on my creativity elf printer. And I'm going to be changing over the Hotend. Oh, can't really see it. To a all metal Hotend with, well, it's this one. Let's see. It lost something. Alright, so it's a Amazon guy. It's supposed to have a copper heating block and a bimetal heat break. I don't know how good the actual cooling effectiveness of this is going to be, considering it looked like the heat break was threaded and it's not actually getting full contact to the aluminum cooling block, but I'm going to take that apart and find out. So it's a 1.5 millimeter, and it's the only one I don't have a standalone screwdriver for. So, okay. So, hopefully you can see. This is like a hexagon on here. 6 flats on there. Yeah, I don't know how effective that is. And it's actually not threaded, it's just cooling fins. This first portion should be solid copper, because that is actually being directly contacted with the cooling block. So you'd want contact there. But there's plenty of aftermarket options for this. Assuming it is a 7 millimeter, which actually I think it's 8 millimeter, maybe bigger. So it is 354, so that's 9 millimeter. That's an interesting size. Yeah, that might not be that easy to find, so let's hope it's actually effective. Comes with a 0.4 millimeter nozzle, and I suppose that's a plated copper as well. So we shall see how well this goes. Okay, first step, I'm going to, well, first turn on the main power to the printer, and then turn it on. Now I'm going to heat the Hotend to I think I'm just going to do 200 degrees and pull the filament out so I can, 240, okay. Pull the filament out and start disassembling the Hotend. And then also, I'm going to lower my print bed. So now, let's take the X negative. Okay, I guess we're gonna have to home first. Home X, home Y, and then move X negative. That's positive. Right, there we go. Alright, first thing I'm going to do, there are 4 screws holding this cover on. I'm going to remove that, and that will expose the electrical hookups for the Hotend and well, the thermistor, the fan, heating cartridge, everything basically. And then it goes into this VGA cable, and that's like the main lead. I mean, it works. I'll probably end up replacing that, but for now it works. So don't fix what doesn't need fixing, I guess. That's a 2.5 millimeter. Alright. So you can see all the goods. We are gonna disconnect just about everything. This one needs to be taken out so you can see. Probably should just shut off my printer because I know. Oh, actually, that's not good. Preheat. Okay. Forgot first step. Pulling the filament out. Now I'm going to turn off the extrusion, let it cool down for a minute before I turn it off. And then, because my other printer didn't like when you took the temp sensor off while it was on, it got alarmed, so I'm just going to let it cool down. Well, it's only going to take a couple minutes, but I can disconnect the fan. Ooh, yeah, this is... Actually, I don't know what that is. What is this? Oh, that's a limit switch. Okay, yeah. Your part cooling fan, which I haven't even used. Another part cooling fan. The next one is the fan for the actual hot end, or cooling block. And I'm going to leave that on there, because that's literally what's cooling the hot end. Alright, so the hot end's at about 75 degrees Celsius. I'm just going to call that good. And shut down my printer. Main power as well. Not a bad idea to disconnect the main power, as in unplug it. And then now just unplug the temperature sensor, heating cartridge, and the cooling block fan. So all that's loose. And now I'm gonna move the gantry as well as the camera. I am actually going to disconnect my extruder as well. And then unbolt that from the carriage. Just to M3s with a 2.5mm head. At least I think they're M3s. Alright, so that's loose. Now I can just take this pneumatic coupler and pop it out. There goes the extruder. Not bad for a clone. Works. Alright. Got that off of there. I'm going to take my Bowden tube out, at least hopefully. Hopefully it's not melted to the cooling block. Not bad, no damage at all. That the Capricorn tube is where you want it, or what you want. That was a aftermarket upgrade, by the way. I put that on there before I even did the first print, because I was going to be printing flexibles, and I figured I'd give myself the best chance possible. And granted, I don't know how it would perform without it, but it performed great with it. So I am going to keep with the Capricorn tubing until I see a reason to change. Okay, so now I'm going to pull the fan shroud off. It's kind of just hanging by the wires right now. There's a zip tie in the back here that I previously disconnected because, well, it was just for cable management, and if you're going to be pulling all these cables out, it's not really logical to keep that tied up. I mean, maybe after the fact I'll put a new zip tie on it, but for now, it's going to stay on zip tied. Maybe forever. Who knows? Okay. So now, hopefully you can see it. kind of finagling these wires around the cooling or heating block, and well, the connectors are getting stuck. I need 2 hands. Sorry. So pull this guy out right there. And, ooh, heating block is still a little warm. Gave me a little scare. Okay, so that's out of there. Show this off a little bit. Probably gonna have to redesign this little fan shroud inside of here. It's made for the stock one, which mine is much larger. Oh, sorry about that. So yeah, this is gonna, that's how you break a bed. Okay, so yeah, I'm probably gonna have to take this whole shroud out completely. This little 3D printed one, and maybe make my own, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see what happens. For now, I'm just gonna leave it off because we don't need it. Check spacing, bolt spacing might work. We'll see. All right, so now the fun part of removing the thermistor as well as the heating cartridge. The thermistor is the temperature sensor, basically, and it is held in, see on this side, a small Phillips, which I'm just going to pop that out. Hopefully it comes out nice and easy. Oh yeah, nice and easy. And that's gone forever. Alright, we'll leave that in there for now. Now the thermistor, or the heating cartridge, is held in by a set screw on the bottom, and I don't think I'll be able to show that because it's probably dark down there. But you can imagine what a set screw looks like. Now I'm just going to take this Bowden tube and actually push both those out. Now as you can see, that's free, the heating cartridge and the thermistor, the little glass guy. We're actually going to pull that whole thing out. And then I'm going to let my dog out because he's crying. Alright, so I just looked. I do not have any heatsink compound, or at least I don't know where it is. So we're just going to mount it as it is. Hopefully it'll work. Alright, and there we go. Nothing necessarily wrong with this Hotend, I just don't like the idea of having a Bowden tube all the way in my heating block. And now that I look at it, this is not straight at all. That's what you get for buying an off-brand printer, though. Alright, let's see. I'm going to try and mount this directly on there. This may be a little bit more difficult than first anticipated, but I anticipated that. Haha. No, not really. The kit comes with bolts that are longer. There we go. And that fell underneath the printer. So it's got a little bit of a wobble to it. Not too concerned. Direct mount, I'm not upset about that. Now, to see if this heating cartridge fits, which it does, which is nice. It's a little snug, but that's probably from the set screw dimple. Well, I'll just force it in there. But I'm going to put it on the same size as it was before. Hopefully this all works out. Seems like it will. This Hotend's a little bit better than the stock one. Or the heating block, I should say. Because it actually has a Allen head, pan head screw instead of a simple Phillips. And I appreciate that. I really do. There we go. Oh, sorry, I did not do this in front of the camera. Alright, so I slipped in the heating cartridge, and then thermistor is right below it in a little pocket. And then this, you probably can see that. This is just going to snug those wires down. Not much tension on them at all, because if you put them down too tight, it will sever the connection, and then you have to buy a new one. Okay, so I'm just going to tuck these wires back here through the backside plate, and then I can maneuver the actual Hotend into position. This one goes all the way up until it doesn't anymore. There is a hard stop in the top, and that's what we're going to be using. This Hotend came with a silicone sock. I'm going to give it a shot. Famous last words, right? I've not had good luck with silicone socks. Alright, that's on there. I mean, it feels nice. See the length comparison here. A little bit shorter. It's kind of upsetting, actually. I was hoping it was going to be a little longer, for various reasons. But okay, let's see about modifying this fan shroud. I'm gonna first try just taking this 3D printed part out of here that contours it around the stock heating block, and then just kind of have the fan blowing air on it. We'll see how that works. But I will need to retain these screws. Hopefully they're not too long, because I don't want to have to go grab shorter ones. But that's probably the case, and it is. Okay. Sorry, you can't see shit here. Yeah. Revelation I have is that this duct is actually cracked. Whether or not I did that, or it was like that when I got it, I don't know. But, trash. Anyway, back to the current task. Got two new different flavored bolts, and I'm just going to use two of them because I think 4 for a fan is kind of excessive. I mean, it's not like it's a big fan. It's, what, 40 millimeter? So I think 2 screws will be sufficient. In reality, I probably should take off these part cooling fans, but for now, I'm going to leave them. So there's the mount. No cooling or ducting, and moment of truth. Let's see if it just kind of slides over there, and it does. We will see how well it works. Okay, so the socket head cap screws did not work, but I have a another idea I thought of. I'm going to use some flatheads, and I took a 5/16 drill, pretty close to 8 millimeter. Hopefully you can see this. Yeah, there we go. And I countersunk 2 of the holes. I have some 3 millimeter bolts that are going to work just fine and be flush, which is really what we're going for here, because as I found out, there's 0 clearance for this bigger heat break or cooling block. And then now, time to remove the big ass bolts. 1 and 2. You know, nice and flush, no protrusion. I did bend these mounts down. Hopefully that will work. Otherwise, we're gonna have to go with some metalworking tools. Didn't want to do that, but you know, it might have to happen. Alright. See if I can work this in there. Pull the wires and let's see if I can get a bolt or 2 in there. It's only got 3 bolts holding the whole thing on. 2 in the front and 1 in the back, but I want to get all of them for just a little bit more stability. Don't like things rattling around. And holy crap, that is a tight fit. It's actually going to be binding a little bit, but hopefully that won't be an issue. It's right in here. I'm going to have to take a grinder and round that or around the aluminum bit, but I think this will work for now, or it's going to work for now at least, because I said so. Yes, back bolt is not lining up. Can't really find the correct location. I don't know if it's high, low. I'm gonna need a flashlight. Oh wow. I'm like 1/8 of an inch off here. So we're gonna just not use that. It shouldn't be taking any structural hits, so I'm not concerned. So you shouldn't be. Just kidding. I'll fix it later. But now to the back to reassembly. I do not know how long of a Bowden tube I need. so that's going to be an issue. Ooh. I wish I knew how far this goes in. Okay, actually I can use that to measure how much I need to cut. So it's fully seated. I'm going to take my calipers and roughly measure this distance here. Okay. I got 1.285, let's say. I mean, it's a rough measurement. That's how much I need to take off. So 1.285 right there. Try to use my calipers to scratch the Bowden tube, and it did work a little bit, at least enough for me to see a mark. And now I just need to find, there it is. I'm going to use my Bowden tube cutter and give it a little snip. But I'm first looking for a piece of filament to put inside of it, because that is a little trick. I don't know how much better it is, but you put a loose end of filament through the end of your Capricorn tube before you cut it, and when it that will make it so it doesn't get smushed. It's probably more useful when you're using a regular Bowden tube, not a Capricorn, but I'm going to do it still anyway. So here's my filament. Going to put it inside. And then I lost my mark. Oh, there it is right there. You probably can't see it, but I got my filament cutter. Laid it on there. Right on the mark. And chop. So now, if I did my maths right, this should slide right on in there. Yeah, look, it does. It's not a perfect alignment, but yeah, I'm gonna have to deal with it. So, something tells me if I put this cooling block the other way around, the offset would make it centered. Nah, we'll just rock this for now. Pop this out. Oh, she gone. For real, where did it go? Oh, there it is. Found it. No panic. That you pop in first, and then you pop your Bowden tube in, and it locks it in place. Yeah, that's crooked as shit. We'll fix it eventually. Alright, so just mounting the extruder over again. 2 bolts up top. These aren't super tight, they're just kind of snugged, honestly. We're to strip these threads out. Alright, so our extruder's mounted and wired. And puts, I'm not going to use this filament. So yeah, now, gotta go back to the rear end. Calling it the rear end, but it's actually the front of the printer. But Put in my temperature sensor, the heating cartridge, run these fan cables back underneath because they're kind of just hanging down. Yeah, I'm not being very careful with these wires as I should. Okay, so the first fan is a cooling fan for the heat break cooling block, and then we got these two fans, which are not going to be used, but I'll just hook them up for fun because we don't use cooling fans. Okay, that's all hooked up. Now the cool little nameplate. I say it's cool, but it's only cool because it protects the wires from getting smashed or I don't know. Oh, I really shouldn't have a glass bed. I don't think it's broken yet. It's just I've dropped already tons of things on it, and I don't think it's going to stop. And yeah, this is another thing where probably don't need 4 screws to hold on a cover, but it has them, so I'm going to use them, I guess. And there we go. She's done. Alright, so look at it. Hopefully you can see. I have a flashlight. So, our wiring in there. Whole new hot end. We'll see how it prints. Okay, so I just finished the print and turned out pretty good. I already peeled this side, but I got my leveling done. I had to adjust my Z-stops, but it's printed out of GPU and it's, you know, doing its flexible thing. Looks good. Thank you for watching, and tune in next time.